Hello there, Happy New Year and a warm welcome to the first edition of Channels Beam in the year 2023. Now, last year, the tech ecosystem witnessed major happenings from the NIDA Code of Practice, the Startup Nigeria Bill, which is now an act, and of course, the controversial takeover of Twitter by Elon Musk, the launch of a 5G network, as well as the rollout of SpaceX, the launch of Google's Equiano cable, and how tech companies also reacted to the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, amongst many others. But today on the program, we will be looking at projections and expectations for the year 2023. But before we start, let's first of all take a look at the social media trends in the past week.
The footballing fraternity were joined by others to mourn the passing of one of the greatest footballer of all time, Pelé, who died after a long battle with cancer at the age of 82. The legendary Brazilian, who rose from barefoot poverty to become one of the greatest and best-known athletes in modern history, was the first man to win 3 World Cup titles, in addition to many other domestic and continental titles he won during his career, where he scored over 1,000 goals. As Nigerians joined others around the world to usher in a new year, where they wished themselves well in the year 2023 and congratulated themselves for making it through the year 2022, despite its numerous challenges. Crossover services were held across the country, followed in the morning by clerics urging Nigerians to be hopeful for a new year and put their faith in God.
Well, there you go. Those were the trends, mixed feelings, some feeling of sadness, of course, and also some celebrations as well. But joining us to look at today's topics, we have with us right here in the Lagos studio, Adedoyin Adedeji. He is the managing partner at Blue Rave Limited and also the chief operating officer of International Center for Leadership Development in Nigeria. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Of course. We also have joining us via Zoom, we have Adeboye Adegoke. He's a senior manager at Pan-African Digital Rights and Inclusion Organization, Paradigm Initiative, where he leads the organization's strategy and programs in Africa. It's a pleasure as well to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We also have with us Philip Obin. He is the founder of trendchat.com and currently serves as a technical assistant to the Vice President of Nigeria on New Media. It's a pleasure to have you as well on the program, Philip. Yeah, I think your mic is on mute. We'll get back to you in just a moment. But, kickstart this conversation for us, Adedoyin. So much happened last year, highs, lows. But what are you looking at seeing in 2023?
Well, in 2023, for tech, we definitely see an increase or an expansion in likely remote work. I think it's one of the key areas. We've seen growth last year, and we've seen a number of young Nigerians that got global roles, even from here, and some of them from whatever locations they are in. So I think in this year, we would also see that growth. More and more young Nigerians, professionals, that are getting global roles, even just from here.
Yeah.
So definitely we'll see that. We'd also see an increase in internet penetration, broadband penetration across the country, because more demands would increase. Demand for internet access would increase, and more services would also come on board. With the launch of 5G last year, we'll definitely see more rollouts of 5G network across the country. And for other places that have not really had much internet access, definitely we'll see more broadband access into these areas. So I think these are some of the areas that we would likely see a lot of growth. And also in terms of content, we've witnessed growth in content production.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm very sure we'll always see more content growth this year.
Well, we can't wait to see all of that. Talking about content growth, Philip, let me come to you on this. There was so much, that happened, in the ecosystem, especially where, you had layoffs here and there, But some are of the opinion that this might result to Philip, I think there's some background noise where you are. If you could take care of that, and I'll come back to you. But while we're waiting for Philip to do that, let's get to Adegoke. As I was saying, last year we had a little bit of, here and there, ups and downs, layoffs here and there. And people are of the opinion that this would result in the creation of indigenous tech firms and startups and all of that, looking at the experience that they have gathered from all of the global companies they were working, before the layoffs happened. But what's your own take? Do you see that rise in local startups coming up? All right, again, we'll just try and sort that technical issues out. But let me just put that question to you. Are we likely to see the rise of startups locally here?
Yeah, definitely we would see, not just even for those that were laid off, even for a lot of people that are currently working in this sector. I think one thing that has happened last year with the massive layoffs we've seen in the tech industry is the fact that it has shaken people's belief that you have a secure job when you're in tech. Okay, so even those that are in the job right now will likely have to start making plans, because for now, as the recession bites harder, probably this year, we'll still likely see more layoffs. And as companies also readjust back to normal life away from COVID, we'll still see layoffs. So in all, we would see people with experiences that are trying to build new solutions, that are trying to build new systems. So yeah, right now, the tech industry is full of a lot of highly skilled people that are not doing much right now. So of course, we will definitely see growth, both locally and internationally. We'll definitely see more growth in this year, and new exciting things will definitely come up.
Yeah, so one of the exciting things from last year was the Startup Act. Now, I don't want to call it a bill anymore, it's an act now. So, and it is believed that, once it's implemented, a lot of startups and entrepreneurs are going to ride on the legislation that, on the wave that the legislation would pave, to build. How do you see that happening, its implementation, that is?
Well, I think the first thing is ease of doing business. Government needs to ease that for a lot of young people, and I think we've made some progress with that already. It's easier for you to register a business right now. I think some months back I had to register a business and it was pretty seamless. So I think we are making some progress in that regard, and with the bill, I think it also gives governments more power to enable young people that are trying to start up businesses, because it's the way out of our economic crisis for young people to start businesses and be successful. Yeah. Because if you succeed, it means that you can get more people into jobs. And if you get these people into jobs, it means that they can in turn lift their family out of poverty. Okay, and they can build skills that they can go ahead to also be a global player tomorrow. Yeah. And with that, I mean, more people can come on board. So yeah, we would always see growth in the startup phase. And don't forget the fact that we also have a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora that are highly skilled and are also looking to come back home to do things. Even if things are a bit difficult, there are a lot of people from area, because, I mean, everything is remote these days. So we have young Nigerians that are abroad, that are skilled, that are trying to set up things, even if they are not back in the country. They can hire people remotely to do things for them, you understand? So we would always see all that growth in this coming year.
Well, we can't wait for that to happen. Let me again try and see if I can get either Philip or Adeboye. Adeboye, we've been pretty much talking about, what we intend to see. You play in the digital rights, digital and online rights space. What are we looking to see in this year, in that area?
I think I would love to talk about is, and you mentioned earlier when you...
Adeboye, we're really having a glitch. We're really having a glitch. We can't hear you. We really can't hear you. I mean, hopefully that is taken care of again. But Philip, let's also try and hear from you if your connection is quite okay. Looking at things that we expect, we've talked about how the Startup Act, I beg your pardon, would pave the way for startups, for entrepreneurs and startups to, have that enabling environment to operate in the country. But in your opinion, how well do you think that is going to happen?
Okay, thank you for this opportunity once again. Let me say that Nigeria is ready positioned for those who want to have their own businesses. Over the past four years, the federal government of Nigeria, through the office of the vice president, has pioneered the business environment in Nigeria to be more effective. What does that mean? TrendChat was registered sometime some months ago. It took just about 24 hours to complete the incorporation of TrendChat, from name search to payment to receiving certificate of incorporation. All of this was done within 24 hours. And I didn't need to pay any extra tax. In fact, I did it under 50,000 naira. And so that's the signal that Nigeria is moving ahead, when it comes to the business environment. So I would really encourage young people to start thinking about starting up their own business. One of the challenges we've had as a country is that almost every undergraduate in Nigerian university is thinking about graduating to land a job with CBN, FROS, PPFC, and the like. Only about 5% of the undergraduates are thinking about coming out and establishing their own business. And so it becomes impossible for 5% to employ 95% of the people in the labor market. So I will encourage young people out there to think about creating just jobs for themselves. And we have a number of opportunities in 2023. The reviewed CBN capital policy means so much for those who want to go into the fintech or mobile money business. And I want to say that between the first month and the first quarter of this year, we will have a need for millions of ATM cards. We will have a need for millions of POS machines. All of this means business for those who are interested. It means that we should start looking at producing ATM cards in Nigeria instead of importing them from India all the way. It means that we should start looking out for production of POS machines locally in Nigeria. It means that we are going to see a rise in the number of people who want to open a POS point where people can come and do, transfers, withdrawals, and all of that. And being a pioneer in this sector, I will encourage anyone who's interested to key in the early part of this year, as I see great potential. Now, talking about content creation too, I think that with the rollout of 5G across major cities of Abuja, Lagos, and maybe Port Harcourt, we hope that MTN and the rest are going to roll out this technology in more cities, so that those who are into the content creation business can also witness a boom in their business. And I call 2023 as the content creator economy, or content of creator economy. It means that we are going to see more young people rising up to stardom through the internet, powered by 3G, AI, and much a very good year for the young people in Nigeria who are likely the ones affected by unemployment.
All right, one or two things that I want to take you up on, especially looking at the fact that you said fintech is going to pretty much boom. Like there's a lot of opportunities, for entrepreneurs, in this year. One of the key things that one will be concerned about is security, because we've heard stories around this Yuletide on how you submit your ATM to a POS agent, and then he swipes the card, and then minutes later you're getting numerous debits from locations that you never visited. How do we curb situations like this? Philip.
Okay, credit card theft is a global threat. It's not just in Nigeria. Even people who live abroad are noticing that. I am aware also that the CBN and Nigerian banks are working very hard to see how they can stop that. And I also want to believe that with the reviewed cashless policy, because one of the challenges we have had in the past is that people take your ATM card and then they go to other locations where you are not and withdraw the money using the POS agent. For example, when they see your ATM card in Lagos, they could take you to as far as Warri to go and withdraw your money. I don't know how they do that. But with the limit now placed on amount of money can withdraw in a day, I think that will also go a long way in curbing the rise in credit card debt.
Well, quite a lot of water has gone on the bridge since the program started. But Boy, let me again try to bring you into the conversation. Hopefully your connection is now clear and proper. If you can hear me, I mean, I know you've been listening in, but again, let me talk about the digital rights space. I mean, how far have we gone, and what are we going to be seeing this year?
Okay, I hope my audio is a lot better now. So
Way better.
last year we were talking about the code of practice that was introduced by NIGA, that's the National Information Technology Development Agency. But something happened just before the year ended. There was an amendment bill to the NIGA Establishing Act, and a public hearing was called for that bill on Friday, 23rd of December. It was really a very hot time, at a time when a lot of people have gone on holiday. But unfortunately, the House of Representatives decided to save the day by asking the hearing be rescheduled to later date in January. But why is that public hearing significant, both for the tech space and for digital rights in Nigeria? The proposed amendment to NIDA Establishing Act is proposing to give NIDA some sort of mega regulatory responsibility, in which case it will have regulatory responsibility over anything tech or digital economy in Nigeria. That's very significant. And that is not to say that it's a good or a bad thing. Personally, it's not something that we think is good enough for for the living landscape. But it's just to say that in terms of where we should be looking, in terms of direction, that is something that every stakeholder needs to pay attention to. There will be a new date for the public hearing, for example, and it's expected that every stakeholder needs to be in that conversation, because that proposal has a lot of implications for every anticipated changes that we see in the tech ecosystem. It has a lot of significance for it, because they are making a lot of proposals in terms of how the tech space will be regulated, in terms of how the tech space will be licensed. All of those things are in that proposal, and I think it's very important for us to pay attention to that, because we have significant impact of digital rights, but it will also give NIDA some power to regulate social media. That's part of the thing that the amendment is trying to achieve. NIDA will have some power, because if that amendment bill passed through and it becomes a law, what it means is that NIDA will not directly regulate platforms like Facebook, like Twitter, like TikTok, and all of that. So as we go into 2023, we need to look at that. But I don't pray that that happens anyway. But then, if it happens, that's what it's going to mean for us.
I would be thinking. I mean, are you scared of regulation? For NIDA not to have that power. But let's put that aside.
I'm not scared of regulation. If I could quickly just add this, I'm not really scared of regulation, but it's just that if we are going to regulate, we must get the regulation right. We don't need a mega regulator. What we need is co-regulation model. That's number one. Number two is also that we must not deceive ourselves. Consultation, broader consultation, expertise, analysis of what are the best practices every other places in the world. But most importantly, multi-stakeholderism. There needs to be a lot of input. Everybody needs to be on the table to have a conversation on what is the best model that can help us move from point A to point B, not just for the sake of ticking the boxes. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Very well. Then I have to say thank you for joining us. We're really running out of time. I have to say thank you to you for joining us, on the program today. Philip, let me just get your last take on this, because you earlier talked about how the environment is already ready. Pretty much, things have been set in place for businesses to thrive. But I'm thinking in 2023, are we going to see indigenous startups come up? I'm really keen to see if that is going to happen.
Yes, we have a lot of indigenous startups already in the ecosystem. One of them is what we are creating, Venture.com. Venture.com is an indigenous, about the only surviving Nigerian social media platform. And since we revamped the network platform 2022, mid-2022, witnessed a lot of people signing up. I think if we get the necessary support, we are going to have much more platforms like Venture. So instead of having Nigerians who pretty much love to use social media platforms using foreign platforms, we're encouraging Nigerians to also patronize the locally developed platforms such as Trenchard. And what that does is that it helps to create more local jobs. For example, at the moment, we currently pay millions of naira here who are, assisting with development of, platforms like Trenchard. So that also leads me to the next station of, if we are truly serious about creating jobs for the young people, I think we have to review our curriculum across the various institutions.
Yeah.
What we have today, at best, I would say, about 10 years, outdated, or 10 years behind where the world is today. So I think we need to do that as clear as possible so that we're able to create more jobs for the young people in Nigeria.
All right, I really can't wait for that to happen. But I have to say thank you as well to you, Philip Obin, for joining us on the program today.
Are we connected?
Yeah, hopefully that happens this year. I mean, obviously it can't happen this year, the revamping of the curriculum. Hopefully it happens in the very nearest future. But I have to say thank you again, for joining us on the program today, Philip Obin. But Adedoyin, let me also get your, just your last take. Talking about, the curriculum, and having this indigenous, what do you think we can do? And do you think, most importantly, do you think Nigerians would make use of indigenous startups or applications?
Yeah, if it solves problems, why not? Because foreign startups can't totally fix our problems. They don't totally understand the problem that we have as a country or as a people. Okay, so we that have the problems are the ones that need to find solutions to the problem. But we've had a society that has not built solution providers. We've had the solution, and we've only had a society that has always shunned out people that consume. Okay, so we need to be able to create a society or an educational system that creates an opportunity for people to come up with solutions. And when you solve a problem, it's the foundation for you to build a startup, because startups are built to solve a problem. So if you're a solution provider, it's easy for you to come up with startup ideas that society can latch on and build from there. Okay, so of course, if you solve people's problem, naturally people will patronize you. You understand? So it's not rocket science, but we just need to be able to create a society where people can solve problems, create an educational system that gives people the ability to critically think and solve problems, local problems. Then from there, we can always build startups and build any business we want to build, and from there, generate wealth and employment and build a better society.
Well, 2023, you all say, is the year. We can't wait for that to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have to say thank you to you also for joining us, on the show. Well, that's the first edition of the show this year. Thank you so very much to our panelists for being our first panelists this year, and also to you for being a part of the show. And of course, we'll leave you with the most viewed videos in the year 2022. Thank you so very much for watching. I'm Victor Matthias. Kicking off the charts of the most viewed videos in the year 2022 is the discovery of an illegal pipeline used for crude oil theft with 1.1 million views. Up next, with 1.4 million views, is the parade of suspected Bayelsa kidnap kingpin, John Lyon. Third spot is taken by the parade of BRT driver who killed his passenger, with 1.5 million views. A chieftain of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, recalling his role in the emergence of President Buhari in 2015, maintaining that the Katsina-born leader would have lost the election if not for his efforts, takes second spot with 2.3 million views. While the most viewed video of the year 2022 with 4 million views is the novelty match held in honor of former President Olusegun Obasanjo to commemorate his 85th birthday.